Kia Stinger. The Kia Stinger feels like it could be the beginning of something big for its Korean maker. Alternatively, it could be a self-indulgent sideline whose most important legacy is to remind Kia of the potentially ruinous consequences of overreaching itself. Only the market will tell, though it certainly feels like the former. It is undoubtedly a risk, a stylish four-door saloon whose mission is to tempt people out of Audis, BMWs, Jaguars, Mercedes, Alphas, built by the company that also brought you the Rio, CD, and Sportage. Don't be surprised if the Kia Stinger GT is good enough to get tongues wagging towards the end of 2017. The ambitiousness of this car may seem even greater to us Europeans than elsewhere in the world, where big, moderately expensive Kia saloons such as the K900 and Cadenza already exist. But whatever your perspective, there's no mistaking the statement that the Stinger is intended to make. We're done with paddling in the shallow end, it says, and we're tired of playing second fiddle to that bigger sibling brand. We're a world-class car-making outfit. And anything that Europe can do, stripping the Kia Stinger GT back to its mettle. Here's the proof, perhaps. The Stinger, says Kia, is a four-door executive Gran Turismo done with all the elegance, dynamism, and sophistication of a blue-chip European brand. We've had a brief taste of it already, on UK roads and in a prototype. For our second one, Kia laid on access to the Nürburgring Nordschleife and filled the pit lane with a handful of top-of-the-line Stinger GTS, a car whose 370 bhp twin-turbo V6 petrol engine and rear-driven, adaptively damped chassis promise pace and handling to bear comparison with an Audi S4 or a BMW 440i. You can decide for yourself whether you like the look of this car, but it undeniably has better proportions than a normal executive saloon. It's long in the wheelbase, and is both lower and wider than most of its European rivals. To this tester's eyes, the Stinger GT looks particularly good with its mix of sporting and refined styling touches. The car offers a slightly lower driving position than is typical of the executive breed, something you can just about detect once you've settled behind the wheel. The cabin is more luxurious and enveloping than we're used to from Kia, crowned as it is by a freestanding tablet-like 8-in infotainment display. But the car's fittings and materials aren't all as upmarket as premium brown exiles will expect them to be. On practicality, however, the Stinger's hard to fault. Headroom is a touch limited in the second row, but legroom is very good and boot space both generous and accessible through the car's liftgate hatchback. Firing up the Stinger GT's V6 engine. Both the Stinger GT's steel platform and its 3.3-liter turbo V6 are adapted from those of the Hyundai Genesis G80 Coupe, while the rest of the worldwide engine range will also include a 251 bhp 2.0 TGDI and a 2.2-liter diesel punching out 197 bhp. It's a relatively heavy car. Kia claims more than 1,700 kilograms in this form, and the engine didn't struggle to give it urgent-feeling pace up the Nordschleife's notoriously steep gradients. There's plenty of accessible torque here. A mildly contrived-sounding audio system broadcast V6 soundtrack too, because the US market sports exhaust won't pass European type approval. The car's 8-speed automatic gearbox is a little slower and more slurry with its manual mode shifts than the best competitors' equivalents, but is far from frustrating. Kia's stated aim with the car's ride and handling was not to go after the most grippy and agile cars in the compact executive class, but instead to strike a more laid-back and comfortable compromise that would make the Stinger particularly suited to long-distance touring but still poised and engaging to drive. A few laps of the ring weren't the best way to test how effectively the car fulfills that brief, but the Stinger certainly has decent grip and body control and the laudable handling balance you'd hoped for.